engines in the hills are hard-working engines who, while small, can pull the heaviest loads. One day, the winch at the quarry broke. While Rusty and Sir Handel were busy fixing it, the other engines had less work to do, as taking slate trucks was the job they did the most, so the other engines didn't have much work. But eventually, the end of the day came, and the engines went back to their sheds. The engines were slightly saddened by not being able to do much work when Mr. Percival arrived.
I know you all felt because you've done too little work, but not to worry, we'll get the incline winch fixed soon. In the meantime, you will still be taking the passenger trains as well as other goods.
He said, then turned to Peter Sam.
As for you, Peter Sam, well, you'll still be helping the other engines. I'd like you to take care of the night fish train. We need another way of making money from goods.
He said, then left. Better for me. I've been too overworked recently. Oh, Duncan, you always have something to complain about. Can you not complain for one night at least? I'm very tired. Rusty groaned. Pah! Why not a story? Suggested Skarloey. I do have one I've been wanting to tell you for a while.
Yes, please. But before that, let me get my train ready first.
He whistled and rushed away to get his vans. The engines finished talking once Henry arrived with the flying kipper and Peter Sam arrived with his vans. Now that everyone, including Henry, is here, he paused impressively. I'll tell you the story of Proteus. Proteus was an engine that worked here when it was just me and Rheneas. He looked like Sir Handel, with a wheelbase like Peter Sam's. He was a bright yellow engine, which was in contrast with me and Rheneas' color, as well as his work ethic. Me and Rheneas could hardly do any of the work, but Proteus did wonders for us. During the night, he'd tell us his lamp was magic that made all the wonders around us come true. But one night, he promised that whoever found his lamp would be granted any wish they wanted. Oddly enough, that was the last time before his disappearance the next night. What happened? That's the thing. We don't know. We wish we did. The controller in the old days never told us because he didn't know either. I'm going to be very honest. That whole story sounds like nonsense, Henry retorted. Honestly, I mean a magic lamp? Come on, how could that even be possible? Sir Handel agreed.
That's because you never believe in anything that's true. How do you know when you've found the lamp?
Asked Peter Sam. Well, it had a very unique shape, but there was said to be some sort of prophecy of sorts connected to it. It is said you'll feel a strong and cold wind, a creaking sound, and finally you'll see a light flicker on and off, then again and again. Skarloey chuckled quietly. Again, Sir Handel started. That story is just a load of rubbish made by the old folks of 1921. Actually, Sir Handel, let's let Peter Sam find the magic lamp. It'll be an interesting story when he comes back looking foolish, chuckled Duncan. Then both engines laughed. Even Henry laughed along with them. Peter Sam huffed.
I'll show you all that the magic lamp is real. Then you'll realize that I'm not the silly one, and I'll be the last one laughing in this shed.
Whatever you say, Peter Sam, chuckled Henry. The guard's whistle blew, and Peter Sam left in a rush. It eventually got dark, fast, and Peter Sam was struggling to see. His lamp was bright, but the fog kept lifting up the further he left Turpin's gate. The fog made things harder to see to the point where he almost passed the station. Oi, Peter Sam, stop! Peter Sam applied his brakes and backed to the station.
Sorry, sir. It's just really hard to see in this fog.
He apologized. Eventually, he was unloaded and departed. He was puffing down the line, and the fog didn't get any better until he arrived at the junction. Because the fog was so thick, he didn't notice he was sent onto the wrong line. He eventually realized he was going in the wrong direction, but he was too far from the junction to go back.
Not to worry. The Skarloey Railway is just a loop. I'll end up in a place I recognize.
He repeated to himself, but deep down he knew he was lying to himself, and deep down he wished he could have Proteus's magic lamp. All of a sudden, the fog left and a gust of wind and cold air settled in. Then he heard a creaking sound. Then he thought he could hear voices, so he puffed closer to the sound. All of a sudden, as he rounded the corner, he heard a big bang, and just beside him was a door. Peter, Sam, why we stop?
I thought I heard someone.
There's nothing besides that old door. Must have been some high schoolers touching things they weren't supposed to. You know how kids are nowadays. But before Peter Sam could say or do anything, the fog picked up again, and there was a flickering light above him.
It wasn't any high schoolers. It's Proteus's magic lamp, calling to me.
What are you talking about? It's only me, he said. Peter Sam calmed down and realized what had happened. They called saying you haven't arrived at Lakeside Station. I was in the area and offered to help find you. I'll lead you until you find yourself in a familiar location. And so, Peter Sam followed Harold. He gave him guidance with his bright light until Peter Sam got to a junction he was familiar with.
This is the junction to the slate quarry. Thank you, Harold.
He shouted. Harold gave him good luck on his travels, and Peter Sam continued on his journey. He eventually finished delivering all the fish on time and returned to the shed. When he arrived, Skarloey was slightly awake, wondering when Peter Sam would come back. I heard you went missing, he said. What was that all about?
Well, I thought that I was about to find Proteus's magic lamp, but it turned out to be Harold. But there was something else, too.
What was it? Skarloey asked.
We were at a spot completely unfamiliar to us. And then, I heard voices. And that's when the prophecy was becoming true. But when I rounded a corner, there was an old rusty door. I don't know why that door was there or where it came from.
It was probably the wind playing tricks on you. People do say it's easier to hear things that aren't there in the night when you're tired and there's lots of fog around, Skarloey said. Peter Sam thought he was right, but wasn't sure at the same time. Maybe the wind and fog were playing tricks on him. Or maybe it was something deeper. Maybe if Peter Sam believed in the magic lamp more, he could have changed Soto's future in one way or another.